So we are looking at the section or lesson 2.4 notes. Okay, solving two-step inequalities. So it's very similar to what we've already been doing, and so there's several things that we've already learned. So it shouldn't be that difficult, but it's just going to be new. So let's look at this first statement right here. You can solve two-step equations in the same way that you, in the same way you solve two-step equation, two-step inequalities, in the same way you solve two-step equations. So all the information we've done on the board still applies to all of this right here. All right, so we have our 5x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 11. So we're going to graph the solution. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get this 5x by itself. So we're going to add this 4 to both sides. So here on the right, we'll be left with 5x. That cancels out. Bring down your greater than or equal to and add that together. So then we'll divide by 5 so that we can get x all by itself. So x will be greater than or equal to 3. So that is if we label this 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, like this, we will put a solid circle right at 3, and our arrow will be drawn to the right. Okay, so now we are going to look at this right here. So example B. What we need to do right here is we're trying to get this b term all alone. So we'll subtract the 4 to get the constants together on the other side. And so then here on the left, we'll bring down the b over negative 3. This cancels out. We have our less than, and then 13 minus 4 is 9. So then we need to since we're done, we'll graph the solution. Okay, now I need to get b all alone, so I have to deal with this negative 3. So I'll deal with that by multiplying through by negative 3. That will cancel. But if I do that on the left, I have to do that also on the right. Okay, so since we are multiplying by a negative, this sign will flip because we're multiplying by a negative, and so this will be negative 27. All right, and then we need to graph that. So that's going to be negative 27, negative 26, like that. And this will be negative 28, negative 29. Okay, so this is an open circle, and our line is going to the right. Like that right there. Okay, we're going to do a few more here. And I want you to try some of these on your own. And we'll come back and do them together. All right, so first of all, this is what we're trying to get alone. So we'll add 7. So we'll bring down our 6y. The 7's cancel out. Bring down your greater than. And then this is going to be 12. So then we want to get the y totally alone. So we'll divide by 6. So y will be greater than 2. Like that. So we'll label this 2, 3, 4, 1, 0. We'll put an open circle at 2. And our line goes to the right. Okay. All right, so now let's look at 4. All right, so this is the term with the d. So that's what we're trying to get by itself. So remember, there's no sign written. There's a positive in front of that, right? So the opposite of that is to subtract. So that will cancel. Bring down your negative 3D. Bring down your greater than or equal to. And then 19 minus 4 is 15. So then we want to get the d by itself. So we'll divide by negative 3. All right, well, remember, when you divide by a negative, you have to flip, right? Flip the sign. So this is going to cancel and left with d. Flip the sign, and then that will be a negative 5. So d is less than or equal to negative 5. So we need to label our number line. So we'll put a closed circle at negative 5, and then we will draw our line to the right, to the left. To the left. All right, so again, what are we trying to get alone? We're trying to get this all by itself. So we'll subtract the 8. So we'll bring down our w over negative 4. That cancels, greater than 1. So we want to get rid of this negative 4 on the bottom. So we'll multiply through by negative 4 on both sides. On the left here it cancels. Now, since we're multiplying by a negative, our inequality flips, and 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So don't forget the flip, because we're multiplying by a negative. So we'll label our number line like this. Open circle at negative 4 because there's no equal to, and then our line goes to the left. Okay, good. Okay, so on number 4, this time we have to do the distributive property. So 2 times k is 2k. And then 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Bring down your less than and your 6. All right, so we're trying to get this k term all alone. So we're going to add the 10. So we'll have 2k. This cancels. Bring down your less than and your 16. Then we'll divide by 2. So k is less than 8. So let's label our line. So we have 8, 9, 10, 8, 7, 6. So we'll have an open circle and we'll shade to the left. Okay. All right. Try number 5 and 6 on your own, and we'll finish it together. All right, so we're going to distribute. So we'll have negative 4n, and then a negative times a negative gives us positive 40. Bring down your less than and your 32, like this. Right, so again, we want to get this variable alone. So we'll subtract 40. So we'll bring down our negative 4n. This cancels, and then that will be less than negative 8. Divide by negative 4. All right, so don't forget, we're dividing by a negative. So that'll cancel. So we have n is greater than 2. So don't forget, when we hit that, you have to switch to greater than. You got to do a flip because we're dividing by a negative. All right, so then we're going to label this 2, 3, 4, 1, 0. So we will put an open circle at 2, and our line goes to the right. Right, so number 6 is also going to be a distributive problem, like this. So we're going to bring down our negative 3, less than or equal to, and then 0.5 times 8. In other words, half of 8 is 4. Then 0.5 times y is 0.5y. All right, and so the y term is what we're trying to get alone. So we'll subtract the 4. So we'll have negative 7 is less than or equal to 0.5y. Okay, that cancels out. So now we want to get the y all alone. So we'll divide by 0.5. Divide by 0.5. So when we do that, we get negative 14 is less than or equal to y. So, but the y is on the wrong side. So we're going to flip that around. All right, don't forget to flip it this time because y needs to be on the left. All right, so then we're going to label that. We got negative 14, and then we have to increase negative 13, negative 12, and then negative 15, and negative 16. All right, so we're going to have a solid circle at negative 14, and our arrow goes to the right. Okay. All right, so we got a couple of real life problems we're going to look at. A football team orders sweatshirts for $40 each. The price per sweatshirt decreases 5 cents for each sweatshirt that's ordered. How many sweatshirts should the team order for the price per sweatshirt to be no greater than $32.50? Okay, so we're to write and solve the inequality to determine how many sweatshirts the team should order. All right, now we're subtracting this discount. So the discount has to be, so the price per sweatshirt is no greater than. Well, no greater than means less than or equal to. So we want our sweatshirts to be less than or equal to $32.50. So we're starting off with our total at the beginning. It's $40. And we're subtracting from that 5 cents times the number of sweatshirts that are being purchased. Okay? Now, so again, it kind of follows the pattern that we've been working on. We have our total minus the part that 5 cents per sweatshirt. And then that's going to, we want that to be less than or equal to $32.50. So they could purchase more than that, but at a minimum, how much do they have to purchase? So we're going to subtract 40, right, from both sides. So on the left, we'll be left with negative 0.05x less than or equal to negative $7.50. So then we will divide by negative 0.05. But remember, when we divide by a negative, we have to flip because we're dividing by a negative. So that means our x is greater than or equal to 150 when you divide that. So we need to buy at least 150 shirts. Right? Sweatshirts is what we're getting. But we need to have at least 150 sweatshirts. Okay. Let's look at this next one. A fair rents a thrill ride for $3,000. It costs $4 to purchase a token for the ride. Write and solve an inequality to determine the number of ride tokens that can be sold for the fair to make a profit of at least 750. So underline at least. At least means greater than or equal to. So they want to make greater than or equal to $750. Okay, so this has to do with profit, right? This is a profit and loss kind of a problem. All right, so we need to sell enough tickets so that we can subtract the $3,000 rental price and make at least $750. Okay? So what that means is that we're going to do $4 times the cost of a ticket, a token, minus $3,000 of our initial investment, and that has to be greater than or equal to $750 because we need to make a profit. So how many tickets do we need to sell so that after we subtract our initial investment, our rental fee, we still are making that much? Okay? So now we need to get the 4x by itself. So we're going to add the 3,000 like this. Add it over here as well. $4x is greater than or equal to 3,750. So now we will divide by 4. Okay? And so that's going to cancel. And so x, which represents our tickets, is going to be greater than or equal to 3,750 divided by 4. All right, so that's going to be 3,750 divided by 4. And so that is going to be 937. Hold on. I did not get that typed in there, did I? 3,750 divided by 4, 937.5. Now, 937.5. Now, you can't sell half a ticket, so you're going to have to sell 938 tickets.